Hi, my name is Kapadhi, and I'm the founder of the Kapadhi, the Life Coach. This is a program that coaching many people, young people, old people, anybody, whichever problems you find yourself in. Now, before I talk about Kapadhi, the Life Coach, I would like to tell you first how I started my journey as a therapist or as a coach. 25 years ago, myself, I consulted a marriage counselor because I have relationship issue or relationship anxiety that has really attacked me. So when I went to that counselor, when I came back, the whole situation was so worse. And I was wondering what had happened. I thought I consulted a specialist, but it seems that my problem becomes just so worse. So by then, I was an HIV counselor. And it was mid-90s to early 2000. And that is the time when HIV didn't have really much of treatment. ARV was not really enough. Therefore, the people who were contracted by this virus, they have been, only those who were very seriously sick has been put on medication. Therefore, if your CD4 count, even for instance, they are 30 or 40, some of them could or not even be put on the medication. So we have a project where I was a counselor of all the HIV positive people. And it was really a challenge. It was a challenge for me because I just realized there was no solution. So I have to work hard. I have to do something to come up with a solution. So I have to really think. I research, but I realized that many people who died then, they didn't die because of the HIV virus. They didn't die because some were on the medication. They didn't die because the medication was not working. They died, I just pick it up, they died because of rejection. They feel rejected. So many people has felt rejected because why I say they feel rejected, because they told me some of them have been chased away from their home. Some of them has been dumped by their partners. And some of them, they even be fired from their employers. So that indicated that yes, this was really a problem. So the problem was not necessarily the virus, but the problem was really the feeling of rejection. And I decided to research, and then I decided to change my approach. Because usually I was just sort of like telling them, yes, everything will be fine. And the question was, everything will be fine? How? How it's going to be fine without the medication? With that kind of rejection, and you are telling us it's going to be fine. So I decided to change my approach and I asked them, what is it that they want? And I discovered really that what they really wanted was the validation. They wanted to feel valued. They wanted to feel that they are still worth. Despite the HIV virus, they are still valued. But they feel devalued because they have been, discriminated against. Because that time HIV there was not enough information. There was really a lot of misinformation and misinterpretation, false information especially surrounding the HIV. And it was regarded as a death sentence. Therefore, I decided to come up with something. I decided just to teach them how to value themselves, because I cannot really go to their partner and say, please take her back, take him back. I cannot go to the whole society and ask them to value this, my clients. So I decided to do what best I could do. So what I did, I really teach them how to value themselves, how to feel that the love for themselves, how to be confident. I really give them the power back, because I usually tell them, listen, let's look at the HIV. If you allow the HIV to take the power from you, if you allow the HIV to be stronger than you, it's definitely going to kill you. But if you don't want this HIV to kill you, please just look at it as just a disease like any other disease. So that's what I did. And then we talk about the disease, the HIV disease. We talk about how and so on. And usually sometimes some of them didn't even want to talk about it, because the moment you just mention it, even when people are just bypassing and they talk about it, they were always, very, very sensitive. So I sort of like make that discussion so familiar. We discuss it, we laugh about it, we talk about it. And then we say, let's be strong. Let's not allow the HIV to really take your power. So I give them the power back. On later, really after a month or 2 months, I see a change. Some of them were on the medication, and that time they have stopped, and because they say, no, I would rather die. But then they restart their ARVs. And some of them, they just decided to say they talk freely about the HIV virus. So therefore, they started really getting well. And therefore, after changing my approach, some of them restarted the ARV, and they talk freely, and they really feel the strength. And I said, praise yourself. If you don't praise yourself, if you don't value yourself, and you expect another person to value you, you might not get it. But if you talk good things about you, then you will defeat this disease. So it happens, and I rarely see a lot of change. Some of them could not even walk by that time. They start walking, and I think we become friends. Some started even like community groups where they inform each other. They really they look at the whole situation. They look back to themselves as positive people, as valued human being. And I think I realized, because rejection is the biggest fear in the world, because nobody wants to be rejected. And that HIV brought that rejection. So what happened then, I decided to do an HIV program. So I took up the program, and I study it, and I pass it. And I thought, okay. And many people started now coming to me, and with other problems, especially the relationship problem. So they come with the relationship problem. So I used to say, also just emphasize on the rejection, and I sort of also give them the power back, the confidence. But something new emerged. Something new emerged from the relationship, because I was more concentrating on rejection. But as the client comes and they discuss, and I listen. So I listen more than talking. I listen to the people, what they really want. Now, something new from the relationship counseling that I was giving, it was like many of them, they really got stuck in the toxic relationship. They feel they are not loved. They feel there is nothing that they can do. So they are not good enough. They feel they have bad luck. Some of them feel they have bad luck when it comes to love. So then I realized I cannot just concentrate on rejection. I have to restart again. I have to research. I like research because, like, when I was in training to become a nurse, I used to like physiology. We used to do anatomy and physiology. So I like more physiology because physiology answers the question why, where, how. It's not where, because anatomy is just say where is that blood vessel, where is that bones. But physiology, how, where does that muscles go, where is the nerves, and how it moves, and what it do. So I like physiology more. Actually, I like really to answer the question, why? So I started researching again, and I research because I realized one piece of the puzzle was missing, and one piece of the puzzle was missing. So I just realized I need to do more research because somewhere I need to get an answer. Because why I do that? Many of them really, I teach them, or rather coach them, how to behave in a relationship because I like rules. I teach them that wherever you go, there are rules. If you are in a relationship and you break any rules or you are not following the rules, definitely your relationship are not going to work. And I teach them the love bank, that if your love bank is not full, definitely you feel unloved. And I teach them how to make their love bank full. I teach them how to behave as a woman, how to behave as a man. And it works. It works. And I've seen a lot of message. I receive a lot of compliment that yes, you have saved my marriage. You have saved my relationship. But some of them came back. So they came back saying that yes, it really helped for a certain period. But it seems that the habits, the pattern, the behavior reappears again into my marriage, into one of the partner. And this thing we keep on talking about, it reappears. And that's when I realized somehow, somewhere, one part of the puzzle is missing. So I looked and I looked and I looked. So one day, when I was searching, because I like searching, while I was searching, I came across a YouTube video. It was a video of a woman called Marisa Peer. Marisa Peer was talking about the rules of the mind. And I listened and I listened and I listened. And then she said she is a therapist. And when I listened to her talkings, it blew me. And immediately I realized this is the piece of my puzzle that was missing. Because, you know, what she was talking about, it was the rule to say, one of the rule I can remember very well was that the mind gives you what you want. The mind gives you something what it thinks you want it. And then she explained. And when she explained to say, yes, that's how the mind works. And then she also given an example how to treat different diseases. She talks about anxiety, she talks about depression, she talks about the habits and so on. And she also touched the issue of relationship, the issue of some people feel they are not lovable. And especially that one is the one really that catches me well. So because some of my clients, who are coming back with relationship problems. They came back to say they still feel unloved because their partner either cheated on them, their partner mistreated them, their partner put them down. So that's why I realized, yes, why can't I research? So in my research, I found that she actually a founder of a program called Rapid Transformational Therapy. And then she is running this course. So I decided I enroll into the program and I study. It blew me out. It was an eye-opener. So this program completed my puzzle. So I started following all the things that I have been taught. And this program is such a wonderful program. Because why? Why I say it's a wonderful program? The program itself, Rapid Transformational Therapy, it means it's a fast. It's very, very fast. Because it goes to the cause of the main issue. Let me give you an example. For instance, if you are coming now with a relationship problem, because you come in and you say, I feel I'm not lovable. I feel my partner is mistreating me. My partner is cheating on me. So now what RTT do is, so what we do in RTT is, first, I teach you the rules of the mind, which is the starting point. Now, I teach you to say, okay, how the brain works. The difference between the conscious mind and subconscious mind. And I teach you to say many of the beliefs are formed where? In a subconscious mind. The waves. So how the neurons are connected. The neural waves. So we study the brain. So if the clients come with a relationship problem, we discuss first, where do you get this problem from? And after I teach you how the brain works, so we find out, why do you have this belief that I'm not lovable? So we trace it mostly to the childhood. The childhood, for instance, any experience that you have experienced while you are a child. Maybe your father didn't like you. Maybe your father, if it's a woman, maybe your father, call you names. It calls you maybe to say, maybe you are ugly. Maybe your father didn't give you any love because some of them didn't even know their father. So we trace it back to say, okay, tell me about your father. And then, once we realize that, yes, somewhere during the childhood or any time, you have formed a belief that you are not lovable because the love of a man, you don't know about it. What the subconscious mind formed is a belief that you are not lovable because your father never loves you. Your father never showed you that you are a lovable person. So in your subconscious mind, there's no file which said you have a love for a man. What is there? It just says you are unlovable. So you grow up with that false belief that you are unlovable. So RTT or Rapid Transformational Therapy, we use the hypnosis which goes into your subconscious mind. And in the subconscious mind, we found out when, why, how. How do you get that beliefs? And because I already, at the beginning of the session, I already taught my client how the brain works. So when we come to the tracing the beliefs, actually the clients are the one are going to identify how do they got that beliefs, where do they got that beliefs, and when. And they realize, oh, that is actually the aha moment, because the client self, they do the detective work. We call it daisy chain in RTT language. We are detective just to find out, why do you have that belief you are not lovable? How do you get it? Who give it to you? Mostly it's the people who raised us up, or somewhere in our lifetime, somebody said, or teachers. So then after that, what we do, then we use now the recording. So what we do, we go into the subconscious mind, we locate the false beliefs or the habit. Maybe you have a habit of alcohol. Where do you get it from? Drugs, gambling. We locate it. Where did you get it from? What happened in your subconscious mind? So once we locate it and we realize it is there, but it's there as a false belief. So what we do in RTT, so we extract it out. We extract that poisonous false beliefs. And how do we extract it? So what we do, we ask the clients to do it self. So the whole power, it's coming back again to the client, because the client is starting to realize, yes, she or he has the power to extract it, because he realized this thing what is false, it's not me. It's not me. And then they will say, it is not me. And then you install the positive ones by to say, I am lovable. I am enough. I am phenomenal. You have the power. So you replace, because one of the rule of the mind is to say, the mind likes repetition. And what you do, you repeat it. You repeat the positive one. The positive one to say, I am lovable. I am a good person. I am smart. I am beautiful. I am phenomenal therapist. So those things are the one that extract the positive one, because you replace the negative one with the positive one. So that's how RTT works. It takes out all the toxic, false belief, misinformation. And once you take them out, you just replace them. And how do we replace them? So before I go, how do we replace them? We talk through the sessions, but we give you what we call antibiotic. The antibiotic is like when you go to your GP, your GP gives you an antibiotic for a certain bacteria. And then he always said, instruct you to drink it for 5 or 7 days. You know, the reason for 5 or 7 days is the bacteria can be only removed after a certain period. It can be killed. But if you happen to stop it earlier, you didn't really kill it. You sort of like make them aware. You make them even clever, because they realize somebody is attacking me. That's why we always say, finish your course. It is a course. Now, in RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy, what we do, we give you a recording. A recording while we are talking about those powerful wording. And we repeat it so many times, what you want to be. So I ask you, what is it that you want to be? So I want to be lovable, so that my partner will not mistreat me. My partner will not cheat on me. My partner will respect me. So those are the things I get from you. And I'm going to repeat exactly what you want. You want to be a lovable person. So what I do, in the recording that I give you, you record with your own cell phone. I record by repeating, you are lovable. You are enough. And then I said, repeat it. And you also repeat it yourself. I'm a good person. I'm a lovable person. I am smart. And in that recording, we don't put anything negative. Because, why? We are replacing the negative, false misinterpretation misinformation, the beliefs, the habit, the patterns. We have already removed them. We remove them. Now what we want, we install. We embedded it into your mind because we study how the mind, the brain works. If you don't know how the brain works, you won't believe it. Because the moment, that's why we teach how the mind works at the beginning. So that at the end, when I said, go and listen to your treatment, to your recording, you really believe. Because you know how the brainwave works. We are dealing with the subconscious mind. That's where the problem is. So, and we are using hypnosis because hypnosis is the one to access our subconscious mind. As I said earlier, we give you a recording. And this recording, you listen it for 21 days. This recording, it gives you the connection, the pathway to the neurons. That's why I say this thing is scientific. It's very scientific because we learn how the brains, how the neurons, the pathway works, and how habits are formed. Because, as I say, habits are formed within 21 days. That's why we give it for 21 days. So, the rapid transformational therapy, it's very fast. You can effortlessly just change your habit. If you have habit like, for instance, drugs habit, alcohol habit, gambling, you name it, the weight, even the fertility. Some people believe that they cannot get children. So we have to trace it. Where did you get the beliefs from? And that's why I really want to thank Marisa Peer and her program, the Rapid Transformational Therapy, because it's so powerful. It really solved my problem because I used to struggle with my own life issue. As I mentioned earlier, that I have relationship anxiety. The good thing of RTT, you can even heal yourself. Because you can put yourself into hypnosis and trace back where do you get those issues from. It really changed your life. Because RTT changed my life. It can also change your life. And if you really want to change your life, if you want to change any habit in your life, if you want to stop procrastination, if you really want to follow your career, if you really want to improve your relationship, all those things, maybe you have issues like anxiety, depression, issues like weight issues, all those issues, RTT can treat it. So, what are you waiting for? Please, book your session with me because I can go through with you. And it's this session I can do one-to-one. I can do for those who are not in Namibia or for those who are somewhere else. I can do Zoom. That's why the good thing of RTT, as long as you are able to see the person, you can deal with RTT. RTT, you can deal with any issue, with anybody, whether you are old, young, children, anybody. And you can do it throughout the world. That's the good and the best part of RTT. It is the best part of RTT because you can get clients from all over the world. And this training changed my life. It changed my relationship. It changed my confidence. I had lack of confidence. It gives me the power. And I would want to give power to my clients. Please book your RTT sessions. I would love to do that.